I'm not usually this nervous. All right. Welcome to another episode of Swoop, Luke. In this episode, a really, really special episode. We have got the 15th president of Collingwood, Barry Carp, with us today. We're here at the AIA Centre. Barry, thank you for taking your time out. Busy morning, Anzac week, to chat to us.
Thank you for having me. And can I say firstly, Luke, that I'm a big fan.
Thank you.
And thank you for everything that you do for the club. It's been an incredible journey, I know, for you. I'm a regular viewer, YouTube more than Instagram.
That's fair enough.
But love your work and love what you're doing for the club. So keep it up and delighted to be here.
No, thank you. Thank you. That means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you so much, mate. Yeah, and I appreciate you taking your time out. And I know it's such a busy schedule. And I guess that's a good segue into the first thing that we can sort of talk about. Like, what is the day-to-day of a presidency look like? You just started back in December. So Jeff Brown, his term ended. You got instated as the president of this huge club. So what does that look like for you?
First of all, I mean, you're right. It's an amazing club with so many amazing people. So it's an absolute privilege to be of service, and that's what it's really about. At the end of the day, we're all, being of service to the club. Whatever skills that we can bring to that process, from a board perspective, there is so many exciting things happening at the moment. At the end of the day, I like to say that we're all connected by that invisible thread, whether you're the 110,000 member or whether you're Luke or whether you're the president, we're all connected by that thread of being passionate Collingwood supporters and passionate about our club, what it stands for, and making sure we continue to stand for those things and continue to be the beacon of light, in a sense, that we are to so many people in the community. And I said, and you would say it, all the time, walking around, just hearing from people how important our club is. So I want to make sure that we continue that legacy.
Yeah, and talking about legacy, you've said numerous times that you feel like you're standing on the shoulders of giants. So that's Eddie's tenure, Jeff Brown as well. How do you see your presidency? I know it's it's only not even 6 months into it. What does legacy sort of mean to you after what Eddie did? Taking us from the bottom of the ladder, Jeff Brown taking us from pretty much the bottom of the ladder to a premiership.
It's a great question. I think the first part of the answer is that you have to be your authentic self. So can't be Eddie, can't be Jeff.
Yeah.
I've got to be Barry.
Yeah.
And I think we've all got to, be authentic to ourselves. So for me, that's humility, being humble, a person of integrity, high integrity, but with a fierce desire to win. So humility, integrity, and that burning desire to win. We've started the year with a theme at the president's functions, standing on the shoulders of giants, and it's so important to recognise the great people that have gone before us, and that's Eddie, that's Jeff, it's so many others, and the work that they've done. So we took the opportunity actually in the first game against Port Adelaide to welcome Peter Moore and Peter Dacos. Talk about giants at the club.
Yeah.
So that was fantastic. And then, of course, for the Carlton game, we welcomed back Eddie and Carla.
Yes.
And just so important, as you say, to recognise that journey and to recognise that we do stand on the shoulders of giants. So I'll be different. I'll be authentic to my own personality, but the things that bind us are making sure that we continue to make our club great. And there's so many aspects of that and layers to that, which I'm happy to chat through. But there's a lot of work to be done, but it's all exciting, and we've got so many great, as you know. We've got so many great people in our football club, and at the end of the day, organisations are about people, and helping them to be the best versions of themselves is really where it starts for a board.
Yeah, no, definitely, and we'll touch on a little bit of that stuff later. But taking the presidency cap off, what does Collingwood mean to you? I know Phil Carman was your sort of intro into the Pies. What does it mean just being a supporter, and then obviously now you're president of the club?
So it's a good question. I might take you on a little bit of a journey. My grandparents were migrants to Australia. They fled Europe before the Second World War, And they did like a lot of migrants at the time. They worked hard. They educated their kids. They were the two most important principals. And when they saved up enough money, they bought a factory in Collingwood. And so that was the start of the love affair, if you like, with Collingwood. My late uncle, who I'm named after, was a mad Collingwood supporter, and he actually died very young. And the love of Collingwood was sort of started from him and passed down, and so I really didn't have a choice from a family perspective. It was always going to be the Pies.
Yeah.
And I grew up at Vic Park. I grew up starting in the rider stand and on the wing there, and then moved to the Sherrin stand when I was able to convince my parents at the time to make the investment in membership and reserve seats. And so my joy of being a 9-year-old in 1975 with Bill Carman, seeing the Pies in the 70s and 80s when I was at my I guess most influenced as a teenager, and the journey from there, just moving with pretty much the whole Sherrin stand being lifted to the Ponsford in 99 2000 with the MCG move. And so going to the football for me is still seeing people that I sat next to as a 14-year-old in the Sherrin stand, who are now sitting in the row next to me in the Ponsford stand, and seeing their kids who started as babies and now adults. And so it comes back to that thing where we're all bound by that thread. And it didn't matter what you did during the week. It didn't matter what your working status might have been. When we came together, and when we come together now, we're all the same.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about our club. That's so important. So we need to make sure that we keep that, and we're very, very true to that. So I love my Collingwood journey, even though we had some disappointments in the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
But it's been a great journey.
We're rectifying those losses now, aren't we?
We are.
You talk about community, and that there's still a lot of work to go into it. Collingwood just released their a couple of months ago their community report, and you helped raise $2 million, correct, to all the charities and everyone that we sort of work for. And then we've obviously got the Do Better report that's still an ongoing process. You've said that as well. What are those sort of those things mean to you, like the Do Better report and the giving back to the community with the Coles group and the Magpie Nest and stuff like that?
It goes to the heart of our club. I mean, it's not too big a statement to say that it goes to the heart of our club, because it's where we started, and recognising the hardships that people go through, recognising the battles. So this work that we do in the community is not just an add-on, is not just an adjunct. It goes to the heart of what we're about, and we're going to keep doing that. We're going to try and improve on it. We're going to try and do more. The Tennant Creek trip that I did in November last year, which was the first time that I'd been to Tennant Creek, was just an incredible expression of the journey that we're on. And to see our first and second year players, and some of the more senior players that have just joined the club, to see girls and guys and how they interacted with the community, the respect they showed. I came back and I said, and I got a little bit teary because I was so proud. And it's almost like in a parental sense, but so proud of our players, so proud of our club. And the same goes, even talking to someone this morning about the service at the Shrine yesterday, just so proud of how our club was represented there, and the numbers that were there. So it's so important. That community part is who we are. You can't just be a high performance person. You can't just be a footballer. You can't just be in admin or coaching. You have to encapsulate everything else that goes into all of our lives. And to do that properly is to recognise that we all either have in our own life or know people that are struggling. And to make sure that as a club we can continue to be there for those, so important. So it's a really big focus of the board.
Yeah, and what you said, is it speaks true to me and our Collins supporters that I've talked to as well. And as just a fan, and not getting rid of Swoop and stuff and putting my fan cap on, if you will, like seeing that and seeing the club grow and give back to the communities. It's no, no point being the biggest club in the land and one of the biggest clubs in the world, if we're not giving back to, like, sort of standing on the shoulders of grace, like giving back to the people, the working class that sort of made this club what it is today. 4 years, 100,000 members. It's absolutely huge for us.
Yeah, 100% right.
And look, we've talked about the presidency, we've talked about, the community and stuff. I guess the real question is, what number does Bontempelli wear next year?
Well, the good news, wouldn't that be nice? The good news is what I said earlier. I'm gonna answer it diplomatically, which is to say, in any organisation, your people are so important, and we've got the best people across the club, and I'm very confident that the right decisions will be made.
Look, we're in the Victoria Park room in the AIA Centre, and you touched on your journey through Victoria Park. In November, December last year, you mentioned that you want to give back to Victoria Park, and we know that our AFLW team play out of there. Um, what does what does that look like going forward? Because I love going to Victoria. I never went as a kid, so I love going there to watch the girls play, and sometimes the VFL guys play there as well. What does it mean to give back to Victoria Park and make it, and I know it's a hub still, but a bigger hub for Collingwood supporters and for the girls teams?
It's a great question. I mean, for people of my generation and my age, it is our spiritual home, and nothing can change the fact. We came into the competition in 1892. At that ground, it is our home. So what that means is that we need to improve it. We need to. You've been there. I've been there. We've spent lots of time there. We need to turn it into a venue that can accommodate elite sport, and whether that be training facilities, whether it be actual playing facilities, whether it be lighting, seating, all of the things that you would expect from a venue that is hosting elite sport. We need to invest in that. So that's very much on the planning agenda, and I think it's very important because it's a place that we need to continue to be proud of. And that means that, not surprisingly, over a long period of time, there are areas of that facility that need work. I'm sort of smiling because I took myself off to the bathroom at an AFLW game, and I thought, okay, there's some work. Yeah, this looks like where I was 50 years ago. But so there are some aspects of the facility that we need to improve, and that's at the end of the day, the members and supporters, and making sure that we're all comfortable and proud of the facility.
100%. And look, staying on the AFLW subject, so I was there 2017 when we played our first game against Carlton at Icon Park, and it's only just grown from there. There's 18 teams now. Every team has a AFLW team. I know we've got a lot of investment into the women's sport, and especially this women's team. And I guess, to not sugarcoat it, we have underperformed coming from a fan's perspective. Looking in, what does getting that team to we talk about elite sport, and it's the premier women's league in Australia. What does it mean to get us to a place where we are competing for finals every single time, like the men are?
I was there in 2017 at Icon Park for that first game, and what's amazing is just how, and you would see it and appreciate it, is how far it has come, and the quality of the game and the standard and the players' ability. It is just incredible after what is 9, 10, 11 seasons. When you think about how long it took the men's competition to become something. So it's going and accelerating in terms of the quality, and it's also accelerating in terms of the professionalism, in terms of the full-time nature of it, which is amazing. So it is very, very important that we do everything possible to make sure that our AFLW team has the best opportunity to be the very best versions of themselves, and that means improving on. Last year for all of us, was not where we wanted to be. So there've been lots of great stuff happening in the off season, and I think you'll see. In fact, I'm confident you'll see a much better performance this year. And we, at the end of the day, the club has an important mantra in terms of connect, win, and grow, and that applies whether it be our AFL men's program, our AFL women's program, and that winning component of the Connect, Win and Grow is important on the field as it is off the field. So as a board, it occupies our time. It is a focus, and I'm very confident we've got we've got great people who are in charge of that program, and I think we're going to be very proud. You and I are going to be very proud of our AFLW team.
And that's really good deal. Like I love going to AFLW. I feel like it's just such a community there, and hearing that we're looking at improving Victoria Park and the connection and stuff like that. Talking about Victoria Park. So we're here at the AIA Centre. The guys are training right now. It feels like a final out there because it's school holidays. It's all packed. I know from members who do, or even not members, just fans that do come to training. Even me personally, I've got to I've got to give money to Melbourne and the Storm to grab a coffee. Like, and with the toilet facilities and stuff like that. What is there any sort of improvements coming or in the works for the AIA Centre for fans to watch the boys train?
Yeah, I mean, we're so conscious of it. I mean, when you go back to the move here, what an incredible opportunity to be in the precinct that we're in.
Yes.
So we're, incredibly fortunate to have this position in the precinct, but we need to keep improving. And the reality and the reason it's not as straightforward as you and I would like is that we're a tenant here.
Right.
And so, no different to being a tenant in your, in your place of residence. It's not as straightforward as if you're the landlord and you can just make things happen. So we're working, with the landlord to do the things that need to be done, and they will happen. It is taking longer than perhaps we'd all like, but we're incredibly. I mean, I keep coming back to the fact we're incredible as a club to be where we are positioned in the, I think the best sporting precinct in the world. We've got a key position here. We need to keep working with the other stakeholders, with the landlord. We need to keep making sure that we improve the facilities for members and supporters. I'm like you, I'm out here as well. I noticed that it's not easy for anyone with a family. That there are, we need to, continue to do, and we will do work here. But it does take time, and any opportunities to improve our position in this precinct, we'll take up.
That's good to hear.